Hello everyone and welcome to Magic Gathering Strat. I'm Binkabi and this will be a little video blog or whatever you want to call it. Just some thoughts and information about how the Swedish Championship went for me. So this is the deck list I was playing in the Championship. It's an Esper control list. I've tested quite a lot. You have probably seen some of the videos, and I was very happy with the list. I didn't regret cutting the Ugin, for example, and overall the deck performed very well for me. I ended up five victories, one draw in the standard portion of the tournament, which has to be a decent record. The draw was against another Esper list and we went to time, so it was not intentional. He really wanted to play and that's fine by me. To be fair, I would probably have lost the last game. I drew a dig through time, and if that resolved, I'm not sure. I maybe could have done something, but other than that, it went very well. I almost exclusively faced against really aggressive decks, Atarka Reds and the green-white Devotion decks and stuff. They're very fast and yeah. But I managed to do some good stuff, and I was pretty pleased with my choice to dedicate most of the board against aggro and midrange. I ended up boarding in Virulent Plague, Other End, Stratus Dancers, Negate. I mean, everything came in almost every game except for basically except for Grind Clock, Negate, and Stratus Dancer. Those are the three cards that came in the least. But I have to admit, it was really fun, and I'm very pleased with that performance. 501 was my final record in the standard portion. Then there were two draft portions. The first I drafted green-white. I opened Dragonlord Dromoka and just went with it, and I was extremely pleased with my deck. I think it was fantastic. And I picked up a loss right away. I kept like 2 lands, 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop removal, I think, or something. 2 games in a row and never saw another land, basically. So that's Magic sometimes. My opponent struggled with mana too, and he was 3 colors, but he managed to hit 5 or 6 lands in 3 colors before I could hit my third in any color, so that's how it goes sometimes. Then I managed to shape up and pick 2 victories in that pod, so I went 2-1, and for the record I was in the first pod 1, so the competition was very tough. Then we had a second draft, and Jesus, what a letdown. This is the deck I got in that draft, and don't be fooled if the first cards you see is like Thunderbreak Regent and stuff like that, because the deck was not very good and I was not happy with it at all. So that is something that happens sometimes when you draft. Despite having some experience in the format and knowing what colors to be and what colors looking open, it's not always that simple. So I started off with a completely blank pack and a Surge Bell Striker, and red aggressive decks are very good, so I went with that. The second pack had nothing in red, but it had a Flatten as the best card by far, so I was like, alright, red-black is very good, so let's go with that. Third pack had no red cards, no black cards, no good cards at all besides a Palace Familiar, so I was like, okay, maybe blue-black exploit then. I'm not married to my first pick in anyway, so okay, let's pick that. Fourth pack had no red cards, no black cards, no blue cards. That was anything too exciting. The best card was the 3-4 reach in green for 4. Yeah, the 3-4 for 4, the reach one. But I was like, okay, I have to commit. So I take a Colligan Skirmisher. He's decent. perfectly reasonable. Then the fifth pack, no, the fourth pack, yeah, the fifth pack, or whatever it is, comes around and everything's just horrible and there are no playables in any of the colors I've picked. And I'm getting pretty desperate. So after pack 1 I have like Surgo Bell Striker and nothing else in red, basically. And I have 2 or 3 black cards, a couple of blue cards. Blue seems decently open but not fantastic. And then I had like, I got a late good white card. I think it was the Sandstep Outcast, like 6th. So, no, it can't have been that. It was something pretty good at least. Yeah, it was a Sandstorm Charger. So it's pretty good. White might be open and white-black is okay. So the train wreck continues. My second pack continues, nothing again. I end up taking a Sarkhan's Rage from that pack. And I got past Thunderbreak region, so I was like, okay, I have to commit to red now. So I start to pick red cards, picking up a few good white cards. And I'm feeling like I'm getting heavily rewarded for switching colors back to red. So red-white is looking good. I'm getting a lot of playables. I get past the Sulfide Grandmaster in the third pack, but then when I'm sitting down building my deck, I realize that I have only 19 playables that is actually good. And that's not something you want to be facing in the second draft pod of a big tournament. So I have to start fill the deck up with like, where are you, the stupid priest? The Dunecaster. He's okay as like the 23rd card, but I've already filled the deck with 18 lands and it's pretty aggressive. So that's a letdown, and that's not something you want to have most of the time. Then I had to play 2 Absent Advantage main because I needed something to do, and they're not good at all. I never got to kill anything with them, but at least they have some combo potential with like Lightwalker and Elite Scale Guard, so they were better than anything else that I had access to. I thought long and hard about playing blue, splashing from Tranquil Cove and play like the Drowner and maybe an Enhanced Awareness, but I decided that an underpowered aggressive deck with 2 colors is better than still a pretty underpowered deck with 3 colors. So anyway, I ended up 3-0 with this deck. First I faced an opponent that flooded game 1 and mana screwed game 2, and to be fair, my mana didn't cooperate at all either, but that's always something you're happy about, and I was pretty sure that the deck needed that. Then I ended up in the feature match area, and yeah, I curved out like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I could buy back Battle Rage with Sulfide Grandmaster, and my opponent had like nothing to do, so I rolled him over. Second game, he was more on the board, but I managed to first get a really good attack in with the Strong Arm Monk and a couple of creatures due to a flashbacked or a rebounded Center Soul, which was really good. And then I could land like another creature, next turn untap, play Elite Scale Guard, and have like 3 things tap down and smash for lethal, so that was nice. The last game I faced a black-white hyper aggressive deck, and the first game I got crushed, the second game I crushed him, and the third game he stalled a bit on black mana, but to be fair, he didn't have any good black spells to play anyway. Like the 2-1 Death Touch was the best, and I hit both. I kept a 2-lander with 5 spells and I drew 8 lands in a row, but it didn't matter because I had Thunderbreak Regent, Soulfire Grandmaster, Shockmo Dragon, Scion of Ugin, and Elite Scale Guard or something like that, so I had all my best spells already. So I managed to go 3-0, and then ended with 201 in the standard portion. So in total, this is for round 11, unfortunately. Round 12 seems to be bugged for some reason, but I ended up with 31 points and topping the Swiss after the 12th round. So I was extremely pleased with that. 10-1-1 was the record. And then I got to the top 8. And I felt pretty good. I mean, I knew what some of them were playing since I've faced them before. And I knew there was at least one mirror, a couple of mid-range decks, red-green dragons, green-white and stuff. The only one I was highly unsure what he was playing was the one I was going to face. And let's just say his deck was pretty good against mine. He was playing the anti-Esper deck with 4 collected companies, Merciless Executioners for Oyotai, CDCs, Horospecs for anti-sweepers, Courses, the Raptor package, the Emissaries to fuel that, and Den Protectors. I mean, there is not a single card in the main board that is bad against me. He said it himself, the worst card is probably Courser of Crewfix, and that has to be a pretty good good assessment. And the first game took a while, and I was almost about to take over the game. My last spell was Dragon Lord's Prerogative, but I drew 3 lands and a Dissolve, and he got to resolve a collected company for like Courser and Grim Horospecs. So yeah. And second match, I almost got him again, but then he managed to flash in the Dictate of Erebos. Almost, I made my Dragon Lords survive. I had 2, but he managed to go get back an Executioner, his last one, and kill them both and just wreck me. So no, that was a very, very bad matchup for me, and I lost the quarterfinals with 2-0. I think if I could have faced off against any other deck, I would have had at least a decent chance, but this is just not even remotely close. There is nothing I can do against this deck, and I expect the matchup to be around 90% in his favor. Despite, even if I would prepare my sideboard with 15 cards against this deck, I don't think it will improve my chances much. So yeah, that was a pretty sad end to that tournament, but a top 8 finish is always nice, and I was pretty pleased. Next tournament will be Grand Prix Utrecht, or however it's pronounced, at the end of the month, and I will be playing Modern Masters 2, and I will have a blast, be sure about that. Anyway, that was the Swedish Championship story. A top 8 finish with a 10-1-1 record from the Swiss rounds was pretty good, and I'm very pleased with my performance. Now go enjoy our other videos, and I'll bring you another report after the Modern Masters Grand Prix. So thanks for watching, and please just keep watching our videos, they're awesome.